Hello everybody. Today we're looking at Insurgency Sandstorm and one of the guns in the game. Now as a gun nerd, so I'm a certified gunsmith and armorer in real life, and I tend to go in detail into all of the guns in the games that I play. And the shooters that I play, I really enjoy when they have realistically implemented guns. It doesn't have to be perfect, but in a way where the detail is put in and the handling and everything feels correct and authentic. I really enjoy that, and that's one of the reasons that I enjoy Sandstorm. I've played Insurgency since it was a source mod, or I shouldn't say since, I took a long break from PC gaming, but when I saw that Sandstorm was coming out, it was one of the first games that I bought for my new gaming PC. Now, looking at the guns in the game, this is one that I've actually had conversations about in-game with people who have brought up the Tariq, and they don't realize that it's a real handgun. They think that it's put in as something, as filler, or, whatever the case may be. But the Tariq is a very real handgun that's made in Iraq and issued to the Iraqi National Security Forces as well as the police. The basic design of the Tariq is actually a licensed production copy of the Beretta 1951. So one important thing to know about the Tariq is it is not a well-received gun. The quality of manufacture is really relatively very poor, and the design is very outdated. Of course, the model 1951 is now pushing 70 years old. It's a single stack handgun, so it only holds 8 rounds, even though it's just a 9mm. And the production quality of these, the metalworking and everything, is just not great. So they're not well appreciated, even by the people who have them issued to them for use. They do not have a good reputation. Looking at the slide here, this is interestingly very accurate. We can see this is what's called a large font Tariq, where the font size is larger, and that indicates a production run, an earlier production run, where the production quality was especially poor. Now, the Tariq handgun is still in production today as well. There's another handgun from the same factory, also called the Tariq. That's a totally different handgun in a different caliber, either 32 or 380, I forget which. Why they would name two different guns the same name, I don't know at all. So looking at the gun, we have the slide stop release. We have the safety lever, which, unlike most other Berettas, it's a cross-bolt safety, so if you were right-handed, you would push it in to the right to fire. And then we have this oddly placed magazine release button here. Now, as far as attachments, all of these would require a threaded barrel. I don't know that I've ever seen one of these. A Beretta 1951, maybe. I don't know that I've ever seen a Tariq with a threaded barrel, but it certainly could be done. But that's what you would need to do to install any of these attachments. The extended magazine takes it from an 8 to 12 round capacity. Again, I don't know if there are factory extended magazines, but I'm sure there's something out there that works, maybe even from the original Beretta mags. And what's interesting with the guns in Insurgency is some of these attachments, like this laser sight here. Well, there's no rails anywhere on this gun, so this laser sight is literally just bolted to the trigger guard. And that's a very accurate representation of how some of these modifications are made. Now, this is not going to work well at all in a real sense, because there's nothing actually physically aligning it with the bore of the gun, and it's going to shift under recoil, but it's a very realistic interpretation of how outdated guns are modified. So we'll spawn in and do just a little shooting with the Tariq. I know that. So it's not a very well received gun in the game. So that's your typical reload where you're retaining your magazine, and then I've actually run into a lot of people who don't know this. In Insurgency, you can double tap R and you do a speed reload. So that's what that looks like. Instead of retaining your magazine to fill up at a resupply point, you throw it on the ground, and it's cool. It actually exists as an artifact in the game. So the Tariq, for 1 point it's not expensive, but it's not a well-liked gun in the game because it really does not give a whole lot of advantage over the Makarov handgun, which is free. But it is in the game, and I thought it had a really interesting history that I wanted to share. So I will include some resources for more about the Tariq if you're interested in learning more about it in the real world and its applications, including a great video by Forgotten Weapons where he goes over one that was received for sale at an auction house and demonstrates the areas of really quite poor quality on it. If you do like this type of gaming content, first of all, let me know whether you like it or not, because I do listen to comments, so I can see what people want more or less of. But subscribe to the channel, and I'll also post my main channel, which is more professionally focused on my firearms and gunsmithing work for your enjoyment as well. So I hope you learned something in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.